Alrighty, it is time to animate. It's finally time. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to kind of want to minimize everything on the search bar and the info layers because we won't really need those anymore. We're going to right click and we're going to say a new null object. What a null object is nothing. It's basically just something in place of it. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to drag it, I'd say around here. And this is the first time we're going to start learning how to keyframe. I'm going to click P for position. And this stopwatch right here, we're going to click the position. We're going to click this. So now it's keyframing it. As you can see, a keyframe popped up, this little blue, like, square diamond thing. What we're going to do is we're going to drag it around, like, let's drag it over here. And then we can drag it to here. That looks about good. And we'll change the angle of it using these little sliders here to make it a little more natural looking. Then we're going to go around to another, like, maybe 3 seconds in, and we'll drag it over here. And this time we're going to want to, oops, clicked on that. And this time we're going to want to change the angle of the sliders to, like, maybe look a little more curved, so it kind of, the mouse will go, whoosh. And if we play it back, you'll see it, oh wait, play it back, you'll see it follows this little track we've made for it here. The way that keyframes work is it takes your original position, right? And then you have a change position, so it's a different number. And over time, it will get there faster, if that makes sense. So basically, it goes from 250 to 1600 in a matter of 15 frames, so it's going to move pretty fast. The closer they are together, the faster they'll move, and the more farther apart they are, the slower things will move. I'll show you that progression once we actually do something with this null object, because you'll see if we play it, you can't see anything, except when you pause it, when you see the null object stopping, which is not what we want yet. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to drag in our arrow little PNG here, and we're going to make sure that it's over everything. The reason why we do this is because when you actually have your mouse cursor, it's over everything, so it would be the top layer. But this doesn't look good yet. Before we even edit our mouse and change the scale, we're going to go to effects and presets. Right now we've only used the align tool, and maybe not even that much. And we are going to we're going to type in drop shadow. Now just for a reference, this is your effects and presets. You have so many different tools at your ability that some of them I haven't even used. I've used Mocha, that's a tracking software, and there's so many things that are here to help you. But right now we're just going to type in drop shadow. We're going to go into perspective, and we're going to drag it on our arrow PNG. Now what you see here now is we have a drop shadow effect, but the really nice thing about After Effects is we have it's called effects controls in the top left where our project would be. Now we have a lot of control over where we want the shadow, how we want the shadow to look, its opacity, its amount, its softness. We're going to turn those up a little bit. We're going to change the direction, the distance just a tad bit, and kind of just mess around with these settings, see what they do, and that looks about good to me. So right now we're going to scale it down pretty small. I'm pretty sure it's like 10. Let's check 10. Oops, that was not meant to be. Let's scale it down to like 10. That looks about good. So, as you can see, we want it to follow this track, this null. So what we're going to do is we're going to, drag the mouse right over around by the null where it is, and then we're going to parent link, and if this parent and link down here is not here, go down to the bottom left and you'll see expand, and we want these two clicked. You won't be using these, but these two clicks will work, and this you don't need at all, for this project at least. We're going to click on the parent link and we're going to click the null. Now what a parent does is basically just, guide their kids, right? So if you set the parent as the null, which we'll call this, we'll rename the null one to mouse null. Now it's always going to follow around the null. And as you can see, we have a little animation of it moving around. Now, this would be all fine and dandy, but the problem is it looks too artificial. A person that doesn't move their mouse super slow like this, it'd be boring and it would never make sense. So, in the next video, we've animated this, right? And now on the next video, I'll show you how to make it a little softer and a little nicer.